Hello. This is day 17 of 30 of me taking a walk. It's a nice morning. It's not really that hot. It looks like it's going to probably rain again, maybe. It's not as sunny, and it's kind of cooling down, so all signs of a storm probably coming. So I'm glad I'm getting my walk in before that happens, and I'm just taking a walk before I go to work. I think I told you guys before, but the word at my church is restoration. Being restored. And that's lovely for me. I've been claiming this word. I've been believing on that word for a while. Anyway, and what I'm talking about is over a year. I've been talking about something I've been praying for over a year. I am definitely believing for this restoration. The word for the year, the restoration, came from, I believe, Jeremiah chapter 6, but you would have to look it up. But the verse goes, if you want to look it up, it's in Google, you can just Google it, and it goes, restore to them, even this day, their grain, their corn, and stuff like that. And then put Nehemiah, book of Nehemiah, and it'll pop up. I don't really know. I think it's in chapter 6, but I'm not sure. You would have to look it up. But I love this word. I would love, I love that the word of this year is restored, because restoration stuff, because that's what I literally have been praying for over a year. And then I haven't been going to this church that long, probably since January or something, and I haven't even gone consistently. I'm not one of those who goes every Sunday, every Wednesday, every time the doors are open, they did an Easter play and stuff like that, and I didn't go to that either. So I'm not like one of those who goes every time. And I've noticed that if you don't go to church and stuff like that, pastors and people who devoutly go or whatever would say that you're not committed enough or whatever, or you're not consistent or whatever, or you don't serve God, that good or whatever. And I don't know if I necessarily buy into all of that, but I do like the church. I do, I'm convicted by the messages. This type of church is not like a feel good, you have opportunity for growth and stuff like that. You will get convicted, and the principles of the word, the ABCs, if you will, the fundamentals or whatever, are clearly laid out, and they're not forgotten. Repentance is not forgotten. Being renewed. It says over and over in the Old Testament, and mostly in the New Testament, and in the Old Testament, it was possible, but putting to death the old man and walking in the new man. When you're baptized, you go in the water and you're buried, and when you rise up, you're risen with Christ, and you're supposed to be brand new. The Bible said that you will be sanctified, so I'm assuming that's a process where, you will not stay the same, you won't be doing the same stuff. Jesus will be refining you, and you'll be becoming more and more like him. You won't be regressing, you won't be going backwards, you won't be getting more evil, or anything like that. And you'll be convicted, true change, true transformation, all of that. And I finally found a church that actually talks about all of that, and it's very necessary. I mean, that's the whole point. Jesus said you have to be born again, so, whoever or whatever you were before coming to Christ, all that is gone, and you're made new. Jesus says, behold, I make all things new. So, a lot of churches, I guess in my opinion, which maybe I don't go long enough, but I just never felt like I've mentioned before, most churches, well, kind of all of them, I guess, are like businesses and stuff. And their agenda may not even be for Christ specifically. They talk about Jesus, they form sermons, they probably print off their sermons like offline and read it out loud or whatever. It's a performance and all that. But I never actually thought of it as, like, I don't even know if I'm even explaining this right or well enough for you. But I finally found a place that I can say that it's beneficial for me as a Christian and a believer in Jesus Christ. I'm happy that I finally found a church that I can resonate with or whatever. I don't know, and it shouldn't be about feelings, but it's not about feelings at all. But I just feel as though, like, the times that we're living in, I guess the times doesn't really matter, but, like, you kind of need a cutthroat, like, I don't know. If we're supposed to be on the narrow path, then I need the messages of, God's standards, which, thank God, I'm in a church finally that talking about God's standards, which are high, and that God does expect things from us, obedience for sure, and just talking about, like, what God expects of us, which I've never, when I go to church, I don't, in my personal private time, reading the Bible and speaking to Jesus and praying and stuff, I get the vibe that, okay, like, this is for real. When Jesus said, come follow me, he really meant that, and he really meant, like, do as I do, and follow me. Like, whatever I do, do. Whatever I don't do, don't do. And how I speak. But me going to church, I've never really went inside of a, I've never been a part of, a church organization where, like, it was about what God expects from us. It obviously should be all the time, because, Jesus says, many come to me saying, Lord, Lord, and they're not going to go to heaven, but they thought they were. But they called Jesus Lord and everything, but he actually wasn't their Lord, and, he says, depart from me, I don't know you, I never knew you. And we know that God doesn't lie, so when he said, I never knew you, he isn't lying. That blows my mind. Like, okay, we say never and always. We say never and always all the time. We get in an argument with someone, and we say, you never blank, or you always blank, and that's not true. Talking in absolutes like that, we're usually lying. Well, mostly 99.999, we're lying. Nobody talks in absolutes. It's like, when you say you never do this, I'm pretty sure you can think of a time where that person actually has done this, but they stopped doing it, or whatever. Or you always do this, but we can think about a time, well, they didn't do that before, so you know what I'm saying. We're liars, but God isn't. So when Jesus says, I never knew you, he meant never. And that kind of blows my mind a little bit. Like, I don't understand how they thought that Jesus was their Lord and that they were living and following Jesus and stuff like that, but, like, they finally get face to face with the Lord, and he says, I never knew you. I never did. I don't get that. I don't even understand how that happens or whatever, but then that makes me think, okay, am I one of those people that God is going to say, I never knew you? Depart from me. Leave me. Get away from me. I never knew you. Yeah. It's sobering for sure. But I have to go to work tonight, so I can't go to Wednesday night Bible study. I really want to. Because we're in Nehemiah right now. And the word of the year is restoration, which I need. And I skipped last week, not because I couldn't go, but because I said traffic, which I should have went, but I went last Sunday, though, and that was good. That was great that I went. I want to keep going. Well, anyway, I'm kind of close to my house, so I'm gonna end it here. It was just a lot of rambling and stuff like that, but it's day 17. Hopefully you all are being active, or you guys are making changes necessary spiritually, physically, emotionally, any type of way. But I hope you guys are doing well. Just take care of yourselves and take care of other people. Love other people, love God. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.